Hello, folks. In this video, I want to talk about taking credit, or basically credit cards, loans, and stuff like that. Mainly credit cards. I'm no expert in this, by the way, disclaimer. And I just got into this, like checking out about credit cards and whatnot, and I'll explain why I was checking it out. And yep, let's get started. So I've been earning for like some 4 years now, from 2017 and basically from 2018. So it's almost like 2018, 2019, 2020. So more than 4 years now. So, and well, I have never used credit cards, but I do have loans for my education and things like that. But I've never used a credit card, which is also kind of like a loan. I think they call it as pre-approved loan, basically something like that. Yeah. And there are lots of people who are experts, and I just wanted to share my experience around credit cards and what I understood about them and what I feel about them as of now as a beginner, as a, I don't know what people call it. There are many words, but basically I'm just a small kid in the credit card world. So I started checking out about credit cards when I wanted to try out this platform called Cred, CRED. It's a popular platform in India. So if you're from India, you must have heard it. They are marketing really well, I guess. Cred, I wanted to try out Cred. Why? Because I wanted to try out Cred Mint. So Cred Mint is actually a peer-to-peer lending platform. So I just wanted to experiment and then lend money and then check it out because I heard some of my colleagues investing in Cred Mint, basically lending money. So I was pretty intrigued by the idea of lending money. Basically, I've seen people lend money in like personal circles and then get interest and whatnot, or don't get interest and whatnot. But if you get interest, you are basically kind of like getting returns, right? So I've seen this happen in like villages and all that. They say 10% interest, 5% interest, whatever. Over these many weeks, you have to pay principal plus interest altogether over these many days and or weeks or months. Um, and they have some binding contract or it's just words and trust and whatnot. And there is also crazy business like goons and whatnot if in case someone doesn't pay, or they'll have some sort of security wherein you just have to give away your I don't know any belongings whatever that you kept as security I guess. And I was checking on Credment because like I've been investing recently in like say things like a bit of mutual funds, which is basically stocks, equity, but not directly through mutual funds. And then I've been investing, like I've been putting some money in like things like say fixed deposit for my emergency funds, and then there is some money in like like provident fund, basically in PF or PPF, public provident fund, and things like that. And then of course the remaining like liquid cash in my savings bank account. So I was looking at like this different venues to invest money. There are a lot of them. I've heard some, I was asking my colleagues and they were pretty pros. They were talking about platforms like Credment, peer-to-peer lending, and then things like mutual funds and then stocks, including US Indian stocks and all that. And then I think even in terms of like mutual funds, I think people follow not just the Indian indexes, but also US indexes, for example, S&P 500. And then what else? People also invest in like say things like financial institutions which have a fixed deposit themselves for a higher rate. For example, I think Bajaj Finance has one. I don't know why they have a higher rate. I guess people who have higher risk have higher rate, of course. So in banks, it's a bit lesser usually. And the small banks usually have higher rates. Of course, they want you to put your money there, so they'll have higher rates. Um, and what else? And yeah, I mean, you can of course put it on many financial products out there. There are like in mutual funds itself, there are like different kinds of mutual funds and whatnot. I've heard of this thing called I don't know. It's called ULIP, Unit Linked something insurance stuff, and then tax savings based mutual funds and whatnot, different kinds of mutual funds. And then there's also this thing called real estate investment trust, something REIT. something around pooling money, your money and others' money, everyone's money together and investing it on real estate. Something similar to mutual funds, where in mutual funds you buy, people buy stocks, the asset management companies buy stocks. But in REIT, I think they buy or rent out, real estate to companies and things like that. And buy and then rent again. Anyways. So I've heard folks talk about this. So that's when I heard about Credmint. And I was like, hey, wait, I should probably try out Credmint. And to try out Credmint, I should be a member of Cred, unfortunately. And to be a member of Cred, the first thing Cred asked me is, hey, give me a credit card number. And I'm like, dude, I don't have a credit card. And so I started looking at credit cards, and now I get a lot of advertisements, ads around credit cards. And the first card that I got was actually Unicard. Funnily, it's not a credit card. I'll show you what's a Unicard. So this is the Unicard. It's Uni, and you pay one third every month. So if you buy for say 3K, 3,000 rupees, you pay 1,000 rupees in the first month, 2,000, another 1,000 rupees in the second month, and then another 1,000 rupees in the third month. Um, Basically, three parts over 3 months, no extra charges. And if you pay in one go instead of three parts in the same month, full price, you actually get 1% reward. I personally don't see it as a big deal, like 1%. I mean, for 100 rupees, you get 1 rupee. I'm like, wait, what is that even? It's like saying, don't buy, you don't have to buy this for 100 bucks, buy this for 99 bucks. It's kind of like that. Even if you say 1,000 rupees, one person is just 10 rupees. Even if you say 1 lakh rupees, one person is just like say 1,000 bucks. That's all. So yeah, 1 lakh 10 per 5, and one person. So 10 per 3,000. And it's a bit weird. I don't see it as a big deal. One person is like almost like nothing according to me. So this does not fancy me. I mean, it's initially it seems like, hey, this is nice, but no, I'm like, wait, what? One person? I mean, if you pay 100 bucks somewhere, you get 1 rupee. I'm like, what? If you pay 1,000 bucks, 10 rupees, that's like nothing. It's like if you go to a dinner and then you pay 1,000 bucks, you might as well keep 10 rupees as a tips. So if someone really considers one person big, I don't know. So I really don't see this as an attractive thing. I don't know how Unicard is like considering this as an attractive thing, but it's still like something. Maybe you can say it's like it's not nothing. It's very something, but it's very little and it's very menial, like very, very small. I don't see as an attractive thing to actually make me use Unicard. Um, but I did use Unicard, for example, when I booked flight tickets, which was like in 15K, 20K. In which case I was getting say 150 bucks, 200 bucks, and things like that. That's all. But other than that, that's still small amount, but maybe it's okay. But still, it's a lot of hassle to actually use a Unicard compared to something like say UPI. At least I personally like UPI than Unicard or cards in general. But of course, each has its own pros and cons. Like cards, you don't need internet; you just need the card, and you can also tap and things like that. With UPI, you have to have internet, and it should load, and you should have enough charge in your phone and things like that. So with offline, you can do cards, but a lot of people don't have actually cards. Instead, they have UPI or cash. It's weird, I know, but for example, a fruit vendor here on the road has UPI, but I don't think they have card. They do, of course, take up cash. So there are popular small shops like that take up UPI, but not cards because I think cards have processing fees and things like that. Like if you have payment gateways and whatnot, I think UPI is pretty much free, or you have cash. No one has to pay any processing fee. So as of now, UPI does not have a processing fee. So in that way, if someone's asking for processing fee, that can get tricky. Um, but yeah, one person, yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's not a thing. So I don't think people should run towards this. That's my opinion. But yeah, I mean, if someone's interested, yeah, why not? So, yeah, I mean, you pay one third. Probably this can be attractive to some people but I was thinking about this, right? Hey, is this really attractive? I mean, I'm really someone who is not into credit or like taking credit, as in taking loans basically. I just was trying to get a credit card just to try out Credmint, for which I need to be a credit member, for which I need a credit card. But I was just thinking about this, hey, what happens if I say spend say 30K this month, and all of the 30K I pay using Unicard in three parts, so one part is 10K. So I pay it and I don't have to pay any interest. Awesome. Remaining 20K I paid over 2 months, like 1 month 10K, another 10 month 10K, right? One good thing is, yeah, money's value keeps usually decreasing. There's inflation rate, but over 3 months, will there be a big change in value for 30K, like 10K or 20K? Let's say you pay 10K, right? Over this month, and that also at the end of the month or whenever your bill is getting generated, you defer paying 20K. So you're basically spending 20K today, but you paid say 1 month and 2 months later 10K. So the value of that 10K is probably slightly lesser, but it's like very negligible, I guess. So, I mean, over a year, there's inflation, a bit of inflation, but over 3 months, 2 months, I don't know. I mean, that must be very, very minimal. And even if you are actually considering that as like, hey, the value of 30K today is high, but then the value of that 20K, let's say, you pay later and 10K you pay later at the end of the month, and then 20K you pay later in the next 2 months, and you say, hey, the value is less. Okay, cool. There is one more tricky thing. So let's say I'm spending every month, say 30K. That's like my usual expenses. Let's say I don't like spend for anything else, nothing fancy, but just 30K, my usual expenses, groceries, rent, internet, and then like say the gas, stuff gas, and then like electricity over every 1 month or 2 months and things like that. And then things like my you know paying phone bills, paying for say my TV connection or like services and things like that. If it's a monthly thing or if it's an annual thing, yeah. So I pay 30K and it's a usual expense, and then like let's say next month also I'll have to pay 30K, right? And if I use Uni card, I'll actually have had spent 60K, out of which 10K I would have paid this month, and next month I have to pay 10K, and I also have to pay another 10K as part of that month's that 30K one part. So I'll have to pay 20K at that time itself. And the next month after that, the third month, you will basically see that you have to pay 10K from the first month, that first month's spend, and a 10K part from the second month's spend, and then 10K from the third month's spend. So you already are paying 30K. Well, at some point, I think if it's an usual expense, you're just going to keep paying like kind of like a 30K almost every month, and you're just differing it off. That's all. I don't see big thing. I don't see much like profit or sense in this. And I tried this out completely, and I have to actually probably even get rid of this card, or else it's a liability probably, or just lock it off and keep it, and then get rid of the account. I don't know how hard it is to close such accounts, credit cards and whatnot, because usually people make it very easy to onboard you onto something, but then if you want to get out of it, it's really really hard. And Unicard, I think they have partnered with many banks. I mean partnered and created this card. So I think it's a Visa card and it works with as a credit and debit card. I think so. It just works. But though it's not considered a credit card, anything that accepts Visa should just work. And I've tried it out on online and offline payments and tapping and all that. It looks fancy and all that, but I don't know. I don't think there's like anything great about it. And the tricky thing is, in case you miss to pay, which is the craziest thing about credit cards or loans or anything, you miss to pay when you have to pay, you are penalized. Like you get a fee, penalty fee or something, basically a fee that you have to pay, and then the interest and whatnot. So that can get tricky really fast. And I have been raised in such a way that, Karpya, never take loans, never take credit cards, never take credit. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good idea to take credit, is what my parents, my dad, taught me when I was growing up. So, except for my education loan, I don't think I really want to be in the credit, like in the world of credits. But yeah, people tell me that like, hey, if you have credit cards, it's good for your credit score, which is probably useful in the future when you want to take loans for buying car or say buy a house and things like that, which are very, very costly, and you'll have to actually get a loan and you'll have to pay in EMI and installments and things like that, or like basically you have to pay back the loan month by month. And for that, you'll have to have a good credit score, and you can have a good credit score by having a credit card and paying your bills in time, I think, something like that. And if you're, I think there are many concepts around this that I don't know about, but I've heard like things like your credit limit, credit utilization, and things like that. So as long as you don't have too many credit cards, and even if you do, I think it still doesn't hurt your credit score, something like that. I heard something like that. So you can go check it out. But UniPay or UniCard is not actually a credit card, and yeah, I don't see much benefit apart from just trying it out. If you are just wanting to have some fun, just try it out. And just paying one third seems fancy to you, try it out. And 1% cashback is attractive, maybe try it out. But beware, yep. If you miss paying, you have to pay them back a lot of money. And yeah, I mean, it looks all fancy, they show fancy stuff. And so yeah, there's no joining fee as of now, but and no annual charges as of now. So if you want to get in now. But I don't know if they change for everyone who were already there and all that. And it's powered by Visa and all. And you can see that you can spend this anywhere, like emergency and bills, fashion and whatnot. And yeah, it can get really easy to spend a lot. But I've heard my colleagues say like, hey, problems with sending is not just related to credit cards. It can be because of anything, debit card or UPI or anything. They're all pretty much easy to pay. Like UPI is very, very easy to use, and someone can overspend with just that. But when you're trying to spend money you don't have, it can get tricky. That's my belief. Yeah, but yeah, if you want to apply, you can apply and try it out. And I've tried it out. I would advise you to not, unless you find a good reason. I've told enough cons, and I don't see much pros, or basically zero pros, because the pros don't make sense to me. These and yeah, they have a mobile app and all. So yeah, you'll get a digital card once you apply and like get your card. I mean, get your account, and you'll also get the physical card soon. And yeah. And well, to try out credit cards next, so I realized Unicard is not a credit card when I actually typed it out on Credmint. So the next thing that I did was I started checking out credit cards online, and what I found out was like almost all credit cards have some joining fee, annual fee, like 500,000, or premium cards like say 5K, 10K, like 5,000, 10,000, and things like that. So it was pretty scary. I mean, I'm like, see, I don't even want to use the card. At some point, this Unicard, I started using it unnecessarily. Now I have to use it. There's one more con in Unicard, which is I have to check more about it. But I spent some money on a flight ticket, and then I had to cancel the flight ticket and then get a refund. And I was like, wait, so this is credit that I got. And then I paid back the bill also for the 20K. I paid it back immediately in full so that I get the 1% whatever, 150, 200 bucks and all for 20K and all. And finally, and there were also some challenges that I won because of which I got some cashback. Awesome. But it was a hassle to actually use the card and like later pay the card bill. And I usually pay immediately instead of like paying once every month. Instead, I just pay it every day or something and immediately get rid of any credits or loans I have basically. Or immediately or at the end of the day, something like that. And once I got this money, the cashbacks and all, I had to cancel the ticket and get a refund. Now, when I get a refund, so I paid with the Unicard, and it was through I think SBM. I think it's called the State Bank of Mauritius. Um, and I mean I paid with this card, and then if you have a debit account like debit card and a savings bank account, if you pay with it and then you have a refund, it comes back to your debit like savings bank account. But with a card, there's no savings bank account concept in Unicard, or I think any credit card does not. Like you can probably link to it, or I don't know. But in case of Unicard, there's no like savings bank account. You're just given a credit and that you can use and then pay the bill later. And here I got the refund, and I was like, wait, how will I get the refund in my bank account. Like I paid the bill for Unicard, and but now it comes back to Unicard. How will that money come up? Apparently, so for example, my credit limit is say 20,000. When they give me back that refund money, they put it as minus. So if I have zero used out of 20,000, zero credit like rupees used out of my 20,000 credit limit, if they give me back say 15,000, it'll show up as minus 15,000, and whenever I use up the money, that minus 15,000 will become minus 14,000, minus 13,000, and it'll just go to the zero and then start going up there and then show the bill. So if the bill is minus, meaning they have to refund, but I have to ask them if they'll actually give me the money at the end of the billing cycle and like give it to my account, or is it just stuck in my Unicard, which means that some 15K of my money is just there sitting around and I won't get say, interest. For example, if it was in my savings account, I would just get interest if it was there, or I could just invest it anywhere, but then it's just logged in there. I can't even use it as like, let's say I want to send this money to something else, like say through UPI to some other account. No, I can't do that. I just have to use the card, and I can use cards only in like say some merchant. They are bringing in some scan and pay, but then that will also be some merchant. So this 15K is logged out, I believe, but I'm gonna check it out and then come back on this. And yeah, I just started checking out different credit cards out there, and then there were like joining fees and whatnot, annual fees. Some of my colleagues are like, "Hey, dude, I never pay for my credit card. Like, I never pay annual fees or joining fees or anything. If there is one, I just get rid of the credit card," is what they said. And I was like surprised because some of the credit cards that they mentioned, when I went and checked out the websites of the banks, they said there is a joining fee, there is an annual fee, surprisingly very high also. Like they're all premium cards or say simple cards or whatever, right? They all had something. Only some new banks, small banks, for example, say IDFC First Bank is something that I tried out recently. I applied for the credit card, and they have no joining fee and no annual fee as of now. And I hope they don't maliciously change their rules. I heard they can't. Let's say they do change their rules, but the when I joined, I mean when I'm applying, the rules were like no joining fees, no annual fees, and they have to keep up that rule for me though. But for folks who joined after me and who when they were joining, if they were having some new rule, for them those new rules will be followed. But for me, grandfathered rules will be followed basically. At least that's what I heard because I was pretty much skeptical. Like, how can you give a lifetime free credit card and then like maybe not say later like, hey, now you have to pay joining fee, now you have to pay, or say now you have to pay annual fee, not joining fee though, um, water fee, right? And like this is like how in mutual funds you pay some, commission to your asset management companies, some percentage of the money and things like that. So, and they just keep increasing or decreasing it. They just have to give a notice on that. That's all. I think, there's no regulation around how much they can or they cannot change their commission rate. So, yeah, in this case, I was like, wait, are we sure? And someone said, hey, rules of the credit card and like terms and conditions are good. I hope so, and if it because usually I assume that it's favoring the business and not the customer, because the businesses usually ensure that they don't fall into any trap because of their legal bindings and things. And I applied for IDFC First Bank and it was free, and they chose the credit card for me, and I mean based on whatever my credit score is and things like that. And I had to give a lot of details. Like I had to give my pay like salary slips over the last 3 months so that they can actually check it out and be like, okay, this guy earns this much, so they can actually get a loan of this much amount. It's funny how much they approve and things like that, but then you can also get pre-approved credit cards where you don't even have to give any details and people will just pre-approve it for you. But usually, I think it depends on what kind of account you have, salary account or whatever account, and then depending on your balance, I guess, because no one would just give you money first, advance money, and get it back later without trusting you. I think that's where the credit score comes in, and then you have the trust factor. And credit score, interesting thing, I found out my CIBIL score by going into the CIBIL website. So I found it out. I mean, registered and then logged in. So this is how it looks like. So CIBIL score, credit score, you can go check it out. You can like log in, like register, log in, and then you should be able to see your thing. Get your free CIBIL score. There is also some subscription and whatnot around this whole thing. You can create your account and then you can also log in later and then check your credit score and things like that. And then different details around it. And then if you have a subscription, awesome, you can actually do a lot more with your subscriptions. You can read more about it. It must be somewhere around. I've noticed some paid subscriptions and things like that. But yeah, so I did apply for IDFC First Bank, and they did like it was pretty fast, and it is a credit card, proper credit card, and I didn't need a savings bank account in IDFC First Bank, which was something I was assuming like, hey, do I need one? And they were like, hey, no, that's so I guess it's like separate financial products, savings bank account and things like fixed. I mean, fixed deposit. I think you will still need savings bank account. Even PPF, for example, needed a savings bank account in my case in SBI, wherein I moved the money from my savings bank account into PPF account, though the accounts are different and the products are different. In the case of credit card, they said, hey, you can just pay your credit card bill using other bank debit cards or UPI or things like that. There are so many ways to actually pay your IDFC First Bank credit card, apparently, like even UPI. There is a unique UPI ID given to you based on your credit card number and things like that. And then you can also use IMPS and whatnot. So I applied, and they immediately reviewed my documents, and they asked me to like come on a video call and then show my PAN card and things like that. And then finally they checked my details. They asked me some name and things like that. And then they checked my details, and then they also did some verification. They came to my house and then checked out if my address is correct on the document, and then my Aadhaar card and things like that. Finally, I think I'll get it in a few days. I applied some 2, 3 days ago. I'll get it on I think 26th May. I was even able to check my credit card, like say application status and all that sorts. The interesting thing about I think credit cards like these, unlike Unicard, which is not a credit card, you have reward points. Even that is not so attractive to me, at least as of now, because I am going to be using credit card, I think, only for cred and cred mint basically. Because I don't know, I mean, this kind of offer business, I think it also fuels consumerism, like fuels the shopaholic in someone or fuels someone to spend. As in, like, hey, you get this offer, hey, let's just buy it, or hey, you get this. Um, I mean, I can get into that trap, I know. So, like you get this reward, and then people like with this reward you can only buy from this shop, or with this reward you can only do this. With this reward, this reward expires in this time, and things like that. Credit card is like a sounds like a very crazy thing to me, but people have told me that the rewards are really, really awesome, and they're all big fans. Um, Especially like for example, I think I've heard of popular cards like for dining. I think it's called Axis Bank or HDFC Bank, some diners card and all. And then there is also ICICI's Amazon card where you get offers and things like that. So for example, people buy say MacBook and then they get some 15K, 10K offer. So for 2 lakhs you get 10K, 15K offer. I think it's good, not bad. Um, how much percentage is that? Like 15K, one moment, divided by 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs, double zero, double triple zero, and that's like, one moment, that's like 0.075%. So if it's 2 lakhs and you get 15,000, yeah, I mean, it's like not even 1%. But yeah, it's still nothing. You still get something. 15K is not nothing. You can still use 15K to do many things. It's not small money. And you can get that only when you use some offers, and usually offers are given through credit cards along with the partnership with banks. And but yeah, as long as you pay your credit card bills on time, all good. So my friends, I think they use auto payments and things like that. They pay automatically from their savings bank account and things like that. And yeah, they don't have any annual fee or joining fee, and they make the maximum use, and they try to ensure that they get the maximum profit out of the credit card. In my case, I guess I have to be wary because I am really not into the business of understanding these offers, and my the consumer in me is like very, very stingy, and I don't buy stuff that easily. And especially just because I want to buy stuff, or especially just because it's an offer. I usually try to buy only when there's a need, or I want it and I feel like, hey, yeah, I want this for sure, and this and that. But some of my colleagues are more disciplined. Like they're like, if they have a need, they buy, for example, shoes, dresses, and then wants. They wait and then understand if they really, really want it, and then buy, splurge and things like that. So I'll share some links around what my friends told. Like for example, one of them shared a big idea of like how they chose the credit card, how many credit cards, and like what they think about credit cards. And once I get my IDFC First Bank credit card, I might talk about it. I might talk about cred and credment and like how I got into it. And I will, I think, block my IDFC credit card, IDFC First Bank credit card because I don't plan to use it, but they do have some rewards and whatnot. But I don't know how useful or attractive it is for me, or because only like let's say you do use Amazon, then Amazon credit card, like ICICI Amazon Pay credit card makes sense. But let's say you never use Amazon. What's the point of using a credit card? You just have to pay your credit card bills. And why are you doing it? You can just pay debit, unless you want to pay EMI and you want to pay extra charges, which can get tricky pretty easily, pretty fast. And you can lose a lot of money, I guess. At least I'm assuming so. That's why people want to actually sell credit cards just because of that. You can easily make mistakes, and such mistakes cost you, I believe. So, yep. That's the scariest part for me. Like, I make a mistake, I forget to pay a bill, they'll actually put a fee. Like, I mean, let's say you forget to pay your internet bill, they cut your internet. That's different. You can get it back. That's still services not rendered. Yes. In this case, you miss your credit card bill, you get a fee, and it's a hefty fee, I guess. Like that's how people earn those money. Yeah, that's why they lend, and yeah, they want more money. So be careful about that. There's a reason why I'm sure there was a reason why all these rewards and whatnot is lucrative. So you have to be pretty smart to understand the whole thing and like why it's so fancy and why it sounds so nice because they want it to sound nice with some very catchy stuff. For example, my IDFC First Bank credit card, I don't know what they do if I don't use it. I've heard that some credit cards they must be used or else there's a fee on it. So I have to go check it out after I get the card. But yeah, and they you do get reward points and whatnot, but I don't know how attractive it is. For example, I'm gonna get the Millennia credit card. So let me show how that looks like. Um, One moment. So this is the IDFC First Bank credit card details. Like you can see here, credit card. If you go to the website, you can just click credit card on the top and it should come here. And you can actually track your application. So if you have your date of birth and mobile number, you can just track your application. If you already applied, and to apply, you just have to put your name and then things like that, and then start applying. So I am getting this one, Millennia, which is like the first basic thing I think, and then there's Classic, Select, and then there's Well. I think these are all premium stuff. I don't know what this is like. This is just next level. I'm just getting the basic one. At least that's what they told me that they're just giving me the basic one. And if you see the reward program, it's like pretty basic. It says 10x reward points and all. I'm actually yet to check out more about this and what's the value and all. But there is value to this, and then you get it back as like you can use this as offers or things like that. And then merchant discounts, which is nice. Like for example, Swiggy shows a lot of discounts for things like ICICI Bank or Standard Chartered Bank or things like that, or SBI Bank credit cards. A lot of good offers like 10%, 15%, but I don't really order so much on Swiggy and things like that. It's really not that useful or buy so much online and things like that. And interestingly, you might notice that when you spend online, you get more reward points than offline. So those are some interesting things like 6x on online and then 3x on offline. I do offline a lot at times to actually touch and feel the product, say a bag or a wallet or whatever, right? Than buy them more online. But yeah, I do have friends and family who do buy online a lot. They trust it. And yeah, a lot of interesting, lucrative stuff. But yeah, interestingly, you'll also see at the end like charges are low. Basically, even your late payment fee is like low. At least that's what they say. But it can get a bit hefty. At least for you, it can. I mean, it can seem hefty for you, though for them it's just like it's their money, they want it. And yeah, recurring payments and things like that. And yeah, you can pay using like many options. There are like there's net banking, debit card payments. I think in credit also you can pay, I guess. And then there's also login. There's internet banking, and then there's UPI, card number, and then IMPS, and then other payment options also. So yeah, that's about the IDFC First Bank credit card and like how to pay and all. I'll probably get the card and then talk about it once I use it. But Unicard, I've spoken about it and it's not fancy for me. So I'm not someone who spends a lot. So yeah, I personally don't see so much worth in it. Except for if you want to get into credit mint, you'll need a credit card. At least as of now, it seems so. To even get into cred and also cred mint. Let me show you the website. One moment. So cred mint. Yeah, so it looks like this cred mint, and you have to become a cred member to even like start off. And then you see there's 9% returns. You might still get more returns. A lot of people run behind returns here. It's a very tricky topic. Some folks would say don't run behind returns, instead run behind like earning more money and then expect less returns, like say 5%, 6% or something like that. Yeah, it can get tricky, but yeah, if you want really, really high returns, it comes with risk, I believe. At least that's usually what people say, and that makes sense. And yeah, I mean, go check it out. There are a lot of such financial products. Yep. And that's all I want to talk about in this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.